Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I am going to do a bit of a sticker comparison. I have quite a few sticker videos here on YouTube. If you want to see any of them, I have them in a playlist, so make sure to check them out. Today I'm going to be comparing glossy white labels. Those are my favorite. That's always what I go to when I want to make stickers. I feel like they look the most professional, and there's just something about glossy stickers that's just very, I don't know, sexy? Anyways, so I have 5 labels from 5 different companies. Well, a label from each company. And full transparency, 2 of them were sent to me and the other ones I bought myself. You can pretty much find these all on Amazon or from the brand's website. I will make sure to link them all in the description box below. Before we get going on our sticker comparison, a huge thank you to Skillshare, who is sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online community for creative and business-minded people, or basically anybody that wants to learn more about a hobby or a skill or some kind of software that you've been dying to try. I use it all the time. I feel like there's so much more that I want to learn, and there's so much about my creative journey that I want to improve. They have a bunch of classes that can help you even in your sticker making journey. One class I've been checking out recently is called The Ins and Outs of Illustrator by Brad Woodard. I would highly recommend this class for anybody watching this video. If you've seen my other video on making stickers, I use Illustrator actually to create them before I bring them into the Cricut design space. So this would be a great tool for anybody who's new to Illustrator. The great thing about Skillshare is there's always new classes, so there's always something fresh and interesting, and it's less than $10 a month when you're on an annual membership. If you're interested, the first 1,000 people to sign up using the link in my description box will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. Okay, so let's get started and let's see how these stickers compare. Okay, so first of all, I am not a scientist, so these test results are not going to be perfect, but I am going to test on print quality, the weight or thickness of the paper and peelability, the glossiness and the finish that the sticker has, as well as how resistant it is to water, and of course, most importantly, the price. This is all based on my opinion, so definitely form one of your own. These are all the companies I'm going to be using, and I wanted to lay them out beside each other so you could see the difference in the color of white. Some have a more bright white, and then some are more muted, kind of off-white. So I think this is more of a personal preference. I'm not going to rate that. So I'm going to write the name of the company on the back of each of these papers so I can keep track of them as I go on, because otherwise I would have no idea. So first I'm going to print and then cut. I always print using the photo setting from Cricut and then also the best quality. And then on my printer itself, I always use the glossy paper setting. I have an old Canon inkjet printer. I'll link one that is similar to this one, but I don't think that they sell this one anymore. So of course, after printing, I cut in my Cricut. This is glossy paper, so you'll probably have issues with reading the register marks, but you can fix that by putting some matte scotch tape over. I tried a few different settings for this, but I liked the heavy cardstock setting the best. And now I'm ready to test all these. This is what it looks like after it's been cut out. So to test them, I'm actually going to take one of each kind. I made sure to do a black and white as well as a full color one. And I'm gonna just mix them up in a bowl and try to shuffle them so I can't see the names, because I actually put the names on the back of each individual sticker as well. And I'm only gonna do this like blind test for the first one, which is testing them on the print quality. But for the rest, I'll probably have an idea of which is which. So I didn't really do much talking through that part, but basically I was sorting through them and kind of looking for the sharpness of the print quality. And then based on that, I just chunked these out into my favorite 2, my least favorite 2, and then the middle. So for the top 2, I'm just kind of looking in detail at the edges. These ones I felt had the best sharpness to the print, but I do feel like the bottom one has a stronger or more truer black tone, it just kind of sticks out a little bit more. It might be a little bit darker, and also I found the bottom one to be a little crisper around the edges. In the end though, these two were so similar, I couldn't decide which I preferred, so I decided to make them a tie. So for the bottom two, they're pretty much the same when it comes to the crispness around the edges. They're not as crisp as 1 and 2, but I guess where they differentiate a little is the top one is a little bit richer in the black tones than the bottom one. So that's kind of just how I made my decision, but they're very, very close. I'm not even sure you can tell, but I guess I could tell. So I turned around all of the labels to see what the company was on the back, and I'm not surprised that Neato is at the top because I really love the quality of the prints I get when I use Neato. So I'm glad that that one is at the top because I've always loved that one. Okay, so now I'm going to try these colored ones. I'm basically just looking mostly at the purple and green part just to compare the tones from the color printing. The first one I grabbed, you can see that the green and the purple is a much more vibrant green and purple, like kind of more fluorescent, which I like better and is truer to what I was trying to achieve, whereas the one below it has a much darker color of green and purple. So I'm just comparing this third option to the first and second. The first one is still sharper and more vibrant, and the second one is also still a little bit sharper than this third one. These last two that I had were very similar, so I couldn't really figure out much of a difference in comparing them when I'm just looking at the purple and the green prints. But this is basically what I thought from those in order, and I already flipped them over. So again, I have Neato close to the top, but the second, third, and fourth and fifth place are a little bit different, although the EnvoColor is fifth in both situations. And that's just because the outline or the outer lines weren't as sharp, but honestly, it's not a huge difference. A regular person probably wouldn't notice, but I noticed because I've been working in graphic design for a long time, so that one just wasn't as sharp. Neato, to me, got 5 stars because not only was it sharp, but it had really vibrant colors when printed. Okay, so now I'm gonna check the thickness and peelability. I find they go hand in hand because if it's really thin, I think it's harder to peel. I don't remember what I was saying through these, so I'm just gonna show you the stars that I've rated them. Essentially, I did find that the online labels were the thickest, and then the A sub were the thinnest by far. The A sub were so thin, they were actually really hard to peel off the plastic thing that I used at the end of this video, and it just does not feel like nice quality. The EnvoColor labels were kind of like in the middle, like they were a nice thickness. And Neato were also super thin, but not as thin as the A sub. And I think the Koala ones were on par with the EnvoColor. So next I'm going to rate the glossiness. I love a super glossy label. So first we have the EnvoColor, which I found really glossy. The online labels one I have is more of a satin finish, so not as glossy. Neato is definitely super glossy. A sub was pretty glossy, and then Koala was not as glossy as the Neato and EnvoColor, but this is how I ranked them. Pretty much the Neato, A sub, EnvoColor were all really, really glossy and very comparable. Online labels, maybe they sell a glossier one, but that one was more of a satin finish. Okay, so I have this plastic jug because I'm going to be testing water resistance. To remember where I place these, it's not a jug, it's an organizer, but to remember where I place them, I just drew that container and then put the little labels so that I know which one's on the left side and which one's on the right side. I'm first gonna do a test just under running water, and in my last video where I compared the waterproofness of the labels, someone asked for a dishwasher test, so I did that but somehow lost the footage. But I'll tell you now that none of them stood up to the dishwasher, and I don't think it's the water thing. I think it's more of a heat thing, and I think it has more to do with the fact that it's from an inkjet printer. But as far as just waterproofness, like if you were just washing this, you know, with some water under your faucet, these all did pretty well, except for the online labels. You'll see in a second. I think Online Labels has more options for their labels. They might have a more waterproof version. This is just their white glossy label. But you'll see when I run water over top of it that the ink runs and then the paper turns transparent. So definitely not water resistant, but again, they might have a different label for that. But as far as all the other ones, they all acted the exact same. The water didn't affect the ink at all or the paper of the label. They all performed pretty much the exact same. So I gave all of them 5 stars except for the Online Labels, and again, they may have a better label, but this is just the white glossy, and this is just showing you I did the dishwasher's test, but I didn't keep the footage of what it looked like after, which was not good. So the next thing I'm going to go over is the pricing. This is going to be really different depending on if you're in Canada or the US. Unfortunately for us Canadians, some American products are just way too expensive to ship. So for Neato and Online Labels, I love them, but the shipping is insane. However, if you're American, you can find them on Amazon with free shipping, so it's no big deal. Overall, though, the Koala is very inexpensive for both Canada and US, and same with the A-Sub as well as the EnvoColor. All 3 of those are pretty decent for both countries. So based on the printing, the thickness, the glossiness, the water resistance, and the price, these are all of the star ratings. And for me, being a Canadian, my top 3 are Neato, Koala, and EnvoColor. The Koala, is a good low budget option. And I love the Neato, I always will, but it is quite pricey for Canadians. But I think those 3 are good options for Americans as well. Okay, so thanks for coming along with me on this sticker comparison journey. I hope it was helpful. I know that when I first started making stickers, I bought like the regular Cricut stuff or silhouette stuff, and it was really bad. So it would have been nice if I had watched a video like this to actually find some decent labels and save myself some money. So I hope this helped you figure out what kind of labels you would want and if any of these are perfect for your needs. I know that there were a few that I really liked and I'm excited to use them. So if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the description box, or if there's another label that you've tried, I'd love to hear what it is. I'll see you next time. Well, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how these stickers... Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Well, that's it. I hope that this was educational. I know when I first started making stickers, I bought whatever was at Michael's or the silhouette stickers, and honestly, it was kind of disappointing to say the least. So I wish I would have watched something like this and then saved myself a lot of money. Anyways, if you have any suggestions on other labels paper that I haven't tried, or any questions on what I have shown you today, please leave them in the comments and I will make sure to get back to you. I'll see you next time.